On the perhaps less considered end of the social media spectrum, if you like, sits Pinterest. So if you think that as a writer you can't market yourself and your freelance writing business with images, you might want to think again. By dismissing Pinterest, you may be missing out on a whole set of eyeballs that would otherwise never have landed on your writer's website or your blog. Again, setting up a profile on Pinterest is simple and intuitive, so we won't go into detail on that here. Use the same profile picture as you did across your other social media accounts, and then focus on getting some Pinterest boards up. So here are some tips to take advantage of Pinterest and use it to promote your freelance writing business. Pin covers of books that inspire you. For this, you can either pin images that only relate to your niche, or perhaps create a more personal board of the books that have inspired you throughout your life. Here you can see my board on books that change lives as an example of this. If you have your own book published, pin what inspired it. This could include images from films, theatre, art, or even other books. As a writer, you're almost certainly aware that virtually everything has the potential to inspire. The thing to remember with Pinterest is that you can get creative and really delve outside the constraints of your usual niches to see where it leads you. Use quality images throughout your blog and include clearly visible pin it buttons on each post. It stands to reason that if you want people to pin and share images that link back to your website or blog, you should use great images that encourage sharing, and then make it easy for people to do so. Google the Pin It extension for your particular browser that you use. This makes it super easy to pin images to different boards on your Pinterest account. Use bright, engaging images featuring inspirational quotes. Just because Pinterest equals pictures, it doesn't mean you can't use words at all. Like with Facebook, inspirational quotes against visually appealing backgrounds are highly popular with Pinterest users. The lowest maintenance of all the social media sites, Pinterest lets you easily share other people's content with a simple pin it button. Use this simple tool to interact and share great content. Pinterest users tend to be more active at the weekends, so for maximal exposure, set aside an hour on a Saturday or Sunday for sharing and caring with the Pinterest community. Pin images based on your other interests. Pinterest is the perfect social media site for exploring your other interests outside of writing. This keeps things interesting for your followers and shows you're a real human writer, not a robot. Plus, you never know what leads you could create for your freelance writing career by publicly exploring different avenues that interest you. Use your judgment, of course. Don't sway too far off that people unfollow you and your boards, but do have a bit of fun with different topics and themes. Pinterest is the place to do this. Get involved with group boards. You can either start your own group board and invite other Pinterest users to pin to it, or you can be invited to post on group boards created by somebody else. Either way, group boards are a great way of tapping into a whole new audience. Each time you pin to a group board, every single user that follows and or contributes to that board sees your update. If these are links to your writer's website or blog posts, this will create more exposure and drive traffic to your site. This image indicates the icon on a board that identifies it as a group board. So what's the next step with Pinterest? One of the main advantages of Pinterest, aside from its visual appeal, is that it's not nearly as time-consuming as the other social media sites. If you have multiple accounts across the major social media networks, you may not deem it necessary to set up a Pinterest account too, and it probably isn't necessary, but it is fun and it does attract an entirely different crowd and raise your profile as a freelance writer online. Some people are just more visual than others, and potential freelance writing clients could be users of all different kinds of social media platforms. As such, you may want to consider Pinterest for inclusion in your overall social media strategy. Please complete the actions worksheet for Lecture 7, and I will see you in Lecture 8.